what you do matter more than what you think of it at the surface level. So you have to think at what the deepest impact that it has. I think that can motivate you so much more because you don't focus on tasks, but focus on the impact.
Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you.
Welcome back, folks. This is episode 96 of It's About Payroll. We're talking about customer service today. And before we get into it, how do you do, sir?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well, Brian. How about you, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, it's 3-day weekend. We're recording on over the Martin Luther King week. We have the pleasure of benefit and being off tomorrow. It's dope. But yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm excited. We got a guest today coming on, helping us out with this customer service conversation. And we're talking customer service today, folks. Customer service is a big thing for payroll, folks. It's evolving, it's escalating, it's elevating, all these things. You really got to be. Once upon a time, I didn't think it mattered in payroll, but it does, man. It definitely does. And I have 3 things to share with payroll pros, right? Customer service. Okay. If you're one of the payroll pros like I was, like, what? I don't need to do that. I don't have to deal with anybody. I'm back here plugging away, making batches and doing reports and analyzation. I don't have to do that. No, you might want to try to fold these things. If you're already working on it and you want to get better, give you some tips. So the first one is clear and timely communication, right? Customer service, and you say, oh, communication, that's not customer service. It is. It actually is. You want to be proactive. You want to be reactionary. If folks are reaching out to you, right? Keep employees informed about payroll schedules, policies, any changes that you're going to be making that might impact them, right? Provide clear and concise, and I love this part, jargon free, right? Slang free, vernacular free. Like you got to know your customer. Walt just has been reminding us, we got to know our audience. We have to know our audience. But payroll, we get jargoned up and we have our own talk and stuff. And you can't assume that your customers understand what you're talking about. You gotta, and talking about customer service, this is a great example of how to use technology. We're talking about this as well. Use ChatGPT. Write it out how you would write it out, but then run it through ChatGPT and say, hey, I'm going to deliver this to an employee that may not understand payroll. Can you help me word this properly so that they understand? That's a good one. And the different mediums, right? You want to attack them on many different levels. Too much is not enough, right? With communication. So meaning you want to, if you guys have a company newsletter, send the newsletter, right? You use the different channels that you have. Create a feedback mechanism is number 2. Do surveys, use your help desk, have a system in place to receive and address feedback or complaints about your payroll. And then number 3, continuously improve those things. And there's more to it, right? But these are just 3 main things. And Walt's going to share some stuff with us too. Regularly assess your communication process and improve it. Stay open to new technologies. Again, if you have a help desk system, some of them are implementing AI in that, leverage that. And the technologies can help you with enhancing the efficiency and the accuracy, because now that's what we do payroll for, accurate paychecks. But customer service can help you get there, right?
Yes.
Because you want to get that feedback. There may be something that you're not doing right and that you never knew. And then you get that feedback from your customers. And then now you're elevating your game.
Yeah.
Walt's going to take us through some stuff too.
Yeah, I just have 5 questions that we could go over. And before we have Jeremy on to help us talk about customer service and payroll. Number 1, what is the impact of poor customer service on employees? How does experiencing poor customer service, particularly in HR and payroll matters, affect the overall job satisfaction and morale of employees? As we know that new employees, we had a stat that after the first or second mistake after starting a new job and they have a paycheck error, they're already like, you know what, bump this. I'm going to start looking for something else because this place is raggedy. You know what I'm saying? So it really does impact it because it can really impact retention, and people can just develop this thing like, this mindset, these people don't care. They don't care about me. They don't care about my money. So I'm out. I'm gonna dip out.
Yep.
So the impact of goods customer service on employees. In what ways does consistently receiving excellent customer service from the payroll department, payroll or HR department, positively influence employee engagement, productivity, and job satisfaction? They'll stay. They'll be like, oh, these people actually care for me. Happy employees equal happy customers. So if you're in a situation where you're in payroll and you take care of the people that you serviced, that will incentivize them to not have to worry about their pay, and they'll be able to focus on the things that they have to do. Because there's downstream impact.
Yep.
Number 3, financial implications of poor customer service.
Oof, yeah.
When payroll errors or delays occur due to poor customer service, how might it affect professional in people's lives professionally and personally?
Yeah.
When there's an error, somebody might not be able to pay their bills. Yep. And especially if it's caused because of poor customer service. Oh, we'll take care of that next payroll. Oh, you didn't get paid half your pay. You only got paid 40 hours and you're missing 40 hours. We'll just add that to the next check. No, like people, like as we heard, 70 to 80% of people in America live paycheck to paycheck. So they cannot afford to miss out on those hours. No, give them better customer service.
Absolutely.
Employee well-being and good customer service. How does providing efficient and supportive customer service and payroll contribute to the overall well-being and peace of mind of employees, especially regarding financial matters? If we pay them correctly and their bills are able to be paid, because most of us who have direct deposit have our bills on auto pay in certain situations where our mortgage or our rent comes out automatically and car note and insurance comes out automatically. And if we don't have to worry about those things, we'll be, like I said earlier, we'll be able to focus and have that peace of mind that, hey, my bills are good because my check is good and I don't have to worry and stress out about anything. Because people, like, when people have money issues, they'll shut down. I've been in situations where, Brian, where a person has been, like, they didn't get paid correctly and they're like, you know what? I'm not working. I'm going to go home and this is too stressful. It's too stressful for me to focus on what I'm doing when I'm worried about my money.
Yep. That's right.
So it is very impactful. And then the last one is navigating tension with upset employees. Oof. When employees are upset due to a payroll issue or service concerns, how does the payroll department or HR department navigate and address that tension effectively to ensure a positive resolution and maintain a healthy employer-employee relationship? So when we mess up, and we do mess up in payroll, right? We will make mistakes. HR may enter in somebody's rate incorrectly or enter in the wrong frequency. These things happen. But how do we respond and how do we combat complacency and combat? Because there's been situations where employees have called you and I, and they're irate.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't pay me right. Oh my God, I did everything correctly. Oh my God, what's going on? And the human in us, if we're not careful and we take things personally, we want to battle back with that person. Or don't come at me like that. I've been in situations where I've seen people hang up on employees because the employee was just yelling and going off. And they're like, I'm not taking this. And the payroll professional is like, I'm not taking this. And hung up on the person. And then the person gets sent to me and I just listen, and I talk calmly. And then next thing you know, if you listen and you don't respond in the same way, because you have to take it like, oh, they're not mad at me personally, because even if I made the mistake, they're mad because their pay is incorrect. So you have to learn how to navigate that tension. It's crucial conversations is a good way to start, right? Yeah. Learning, having these skills, and there's a scripture that my mom loves in the Bible: a soft answer turns away wrath. If you speak softly, if you respond softly, even though this person's angry, it'll de-escalate them. And next thing you know, hey, they'll be appreciative. Thank you for listening. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for getting me squared away. And that will help maintain that healthy, in my opinion, a healthy employer and employee relationship.
That's amazing. As we talk about customer service, we have our guest on, Jeremy Mifsud, head of customer service at Buddy. It's a payroll and HR platform. We had his brother on a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I brought him up because I've been following Jeremy online. And Jeremy is the head of customer success at
Yes.
Buddy. And he comes to us with an MS in cognitive science from the University of Malta, where he studied psychology, philosophy, data science. It's amazing to understand the needs and preferences and behaviors of our customers. I don't think you can get a better customer service professional out here. So, with no further ado, thank you. Welcome to the show, Jeremy. How you doing today, sir? This episode is presented by TimeTrakGO, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. In addition to the unique graphical employee time card that helps you quickly identify and fix mistakes, TimeTrakGO is excited to announce it's now compatible with QuickBooks Desktop, providing effortless data transfer and reduced errors. TrackGo will not only save you time and money each week, but the easy to understand user interface and the ability to turn a tablet into a time clock will get you and your team up and going in just minutes. Find out what a simply better solution can do for your business. To learn more and sign up for your 14-day free trial, go to www.timetrakgo.com. That's www.timetrakgo.com. Or you can call 888-321-9922. That's 888-321-9922. Let's go.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Walter. Thank you for inviting me. I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're good. We're excited to have you on and learn more about your experience. Our first question is, of course, how did you get into payroll?
Yeah, so it was purely by coincidence. You mentioned that Jonathan is my brother. He's the CTO of Buddy. And basically, I was finishing up my master's in cognitive science. I was looking for a job. They had an opening and needed someone. So I started as a part-timer just to help out with tech submission period, etc. But I ended up really fitting in. So I made kind of payroll eventually my thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. That's amazing.
I love how we ask everybody how they got into payroll, and they're like, "Hey, I just fell into it. I just grew into it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and especially so I'm from Malta, and I don't think there is specifically like a professional courses, etc., towards payroll. So most people end up either through HR, through other
Yep.
experiences, and that's how they get led into payroll.
That's right.
Nice. Nice.
So wait, and I missed that part in the beginning. So did you go for the part-time job? Was it customer service? Because now, how did you get into the customer service part of it?
Yeah, initially I was meant just to help out with the tech submission queries. So
Oh,
I would answer some of the emails and chats related to that. But kind of within 2, 3 weeks, I was really good with the customer service front. So I took that on as well.
wow.
And yeah, what was supposed to be just a temporary thing until they find someone until I find a different job, like more in my field that I was expecting, it ended up being a fit for both Buddy and
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
almost thought that you got the degree because of the job, because of how that degree lines up great with customer service and payroll.
It does. And initially, I used to study like before university, it was mathematics and accountancy, but I didn't like it at university level. So I
Yeah.
went into psychology and cognitive science. So I think the customer service and payroll combine both of those
Yes.
words perfectly.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's
that is
awesome.
great. Is that a Buddy t-shirt you have on?
Yes,
Oh,
Oh,
come on.
nice.
How do we
bright
get
orange
those? I
Buddy
want a
t-shirt.
Buddy t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, send me the link. I want to buy a t-shirt.
Maybe in the future, I'll have to ask Jonathan because he
Okay.
helping with
Let them
organizing
know.
these.
Let them know we want a t-shirt. You know what we asked this of payroll people, but it's really interesting to ask a customer service person. Do you have any like good and or bad stories? What did you help somebody out one time that just brought you a lot of joy? It helped them, like you can tell it was impactful to them?
Yes. Good experiences happen pretty much every week.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And we're very lucky because like our customers are very appreciative, but there are some very defining moments where they start a chat where you can see they're like panicked, stressed about to have a breakdown. They have a very tight deadline, especially with complex situations like, oh, I had someone on my pay for 2-3 months and I haven't filled that in. Now I get the information. Like they're very stressed. And the first thing you do is calm them down. Listen, I'll help you out. It's not a big thing at all. And in a few minutes, they get everything sorted and they're very relieved, very thankful. And that's like the biggest highlight when they change completely. They're no longer panicked.
Wow, good. Do you have any experiences with that an employee was irate or there was a bad moment that you had to come in and fix?
There are a couple of bad moments. I think usually it's not necessarily the situation, it's the attitude, because there are people who make user mistakes with the software and they're very understanding. Listen, I messed up, help me out. And there are people who take it very differently. Like the worst would have been like pretty much 4 months after starting back in like 2020. And it was when we used to offer phone support. But this person was like death threats on the phone. Like it was that bad, like yelling and screaming.
Wow.
Yeah. And a part of the problem was the taxes were not correct. But that's because it was their first month and their previous months with other software, they were not taxing the overtime, for example. So they were doing things not right and they were expecting things to be the same way that they were. And like it was like at 5:30 p.m. so outside office hours, like a 30-minute call, and they're very angry.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were just on free trial, but they're still clients today now. So
good. So I like what you said about the attitude, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Like you said, so I think that's the key component is us who are in the customer service that we give customer service to other people. It's about the attitude on the phone. I know that one of the things that they say that I've been told is like smile when you're on the phone because people can feel that
through. Yeah.
Right. So like it is important. So how can the attitude impact the customer service?
Well, I think it's pretty much about setting the expectations by showing empathy from the start. Listen, I'm not saying it's you that made the mistake or I made the mistake or anything. It's just, listen, I understand where you're at. I understand you're frustrated or you're panicked. So what I'm here to do is to help you. So you're focusing on the person behind, especially even in live chat. So we don't do phone, for example, anymore. But by understanding the human problem, like their emotion, will help them get to the resolution faster. Because sometimes if you're telling them you made the mistake, first thing is trying to deflect and like, no, I didn't do a mistake. Like I have to prove.
Right.
But if you tell them, okay, if you did a mistake, etc., they're not going to try to prove their mistake, but they want to move forward.
Wow.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You mentioned that you don't do phone service anymore. Why? So why is that?
Well, mostly because with live chat, for example, sometimes we have 3 or 4 chats simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
And there's a small team. If you have a phone call and it's taking 10 minutes, that means you can't take chats at the same time.
Wow.
And unfortunately, a lot of our experiences were things that were very simple, like how do I do this? And it's something that you can find. We have like over 200 articles on how to do things. So with live chat, I can link the instructions. I can follow you step by step. With phone, it takes me away from other clients. So it's a bit of a
How did you guys get? No, I love it. And we've been talking about customer service on all of our channels and shows right now. And we're talking about leveraging technology. Let me ask you, at what point, what was there something that was just happening? How did the idea come okay, we should move away from phone and just do chat?
Yeah, we always had live chat and email along with the phone.
Okay.
So we didn't have to establish a new system. I was having frustrating experiences on the phone. Like you have some live chats and the phone is ringing and trying to do 2 things at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially when I started, it was just me on my own with chat eventually.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, for a year and a half. it became to a point where, listen, a lot of these queries, they're taking, I wouldn't say abuse, but like they can do things on their own, but they're just deciding to phone because we're reliable. And it's a great service, but if everyone overuses that when they don't need, it's unfortunately not sustainable. So I had to shift to just live chat and emails.
Wow.
I like it. No, I think that was a good shift. And so did you see any type of uptick? I'm sure like did customers get angry? Oh, you don't not phone, I can't call anymore. Did that happen?
Yeah, there are a couple, like for example, if someone requests a call and we tell them that we don't do phone support anymore, they will be like, Jeremy used to call me. So it's a bit harder for me to establish that boundary. Listen, that changed. But when our newest agent does that, they don't have the same rapport with him. So they're like, okay, yeah, that's the policy. Whereas I, especially as the head, as someone who knew them before, it's harder to listen. No, we don't do that anymore. Unfortunately, it's not sustainable. They don't always get it.
Gotcha.
I like it. I think it was a great switch. Yeah. Random question. How many languages do you speak?
Well, successfully or fluently, that's a big question. I learned like 6 languages, but I would say 3 I am confident in speaking.
Wow, really? Awesome. What are they?
Yeah, Maltese and English, they're native from Malta. So when we grew up, I studied Italian and French in secondary school, so like between 11 and 16, but I've pretty much forgotten them. Then when I was 20 to 22, 23, I studied Portuguese.
Okay.
And now, because I relocated to Spain, I'm learning Spanish.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, did you say on Malta, is there your own language on Malta or?
Yeah, we have Maltese.
What
Yes.
Oh, wow. Is it similar to anything else?
I would say yes and no. So it's basically a mixture of Arabic and Italian mostly.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yes, it has like, because Malta is in the middle of the Mediterranean, it has both the African and the European influence. So
absolutely.
It's very unique.
Wow.
Wow. I love it.
We gotta go to Malta, Brian.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Jeremy, we're getting young people excited about payroll this season. I don't know if we came across a stat, and maybe it's just in the US, but our payroll our payroll professionals actually doing payroll right now are aging out. We are on the older side of things, unfortunately, me and Walt included, and there are not enough young people backfilling, getting into payroll. Like 80% of payroll pros right now are over 40 and over. So that means in the next 10, 20, we're going to be aging out and retiring. And there's nobody in the game right now that's going to take over for us. So we took it upon ourselves to just like, how do we get young people excited? And to your point, there are no formal associate degree programs, bachelor degree programs for payroll. So when they go to look at university, they don't even see anything about payroll.
Yeah.
So you seem very young. Like, how would you get? He's so proud of it. How would you? Okay, so we could even start with you. How did you get excited about it? Because you took the job as, I just need some money. I'm gonna help my brother out. This is gonna be part-time until I find my dream career. So what was it about it that kept you in it?
Yeah. So I always loved numbers. So I mentioned I studied maths and accountancy. So that made it a bit simpler to get into it.
Okay.
But you have to recognize that payroll is way more than just the numbers and the payroll calculations. I've encountered a lot of situations where I had to go and read the legislation. It has to do a lot with employment rights. And when you see that you're impacting people by paying them fairly and accurately and in time, they can pay their bills, they can manage their finances. Once you see the real impact that payroll has, you can really get passionate about it.
Wow.
Gotcha.
I love that. I love that. So it was, and we've had somebody on. We had somebody on a while ago, and I'm trying to get him back on, but he's super busy. Adrian Resto, and his motto is "Payroll is life." And for a moment, I thought he was like just being over the top with it until I asked him what that meant. I was like, what does that mean to you? And he said, well, Brian, to live, you have to pay for things, right? You need money to live. And for him, and you remind me of him, he took that impact so personal. Through my hands, I get to pay these people and then they get to live their life and feed their families and do all these things. And it's a special person that takes that level of like impact away from it, because you could just approach it like, oh, this is just my job and it's my job and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So that's really mature of you, I think, as a younger person to realize that connection on such a personal level. And I commend you for that. That's awesome. So now, what would you tell somebody? What would you tell somebody else if you were recruiting? But if Jonathan said, hey, Jeremy, you got to recruit for me. You got to go get some more. You did so good here. What would you tell a young person like to get excited as well?
Well, I think obviously it depends on the state. And so, like, I imagine the US is very different than Malta, for example.
Maybe.
For me, one of the biggest challenges is that realizing there's a lot more to it than just the number. So legislation, etc., can be tricky. So you have to be persistent, but I think it's realizing that if you go into payroll, you can have real impact. Like, there's two ways you can go into payroll. Like, one, you just want to save finances for a company, which is like when people are more finance oriented. Sometimes they try to do that, how to skim expenses. But if you go from the angle that I would prefer, is how you make an employee's life better, that can give you real value to your life. Because I've seen professionals like looking into fringe benefits, what they can give to the employees, what they can do to reduce the burden on the employees' tax, trying to do many things as possible for the company and the employee. Because at the end of the day, employee happiness is always going to benefit your company as well. So win-win situation all around.
Yeah. That's interesting that you said that, because on one of our other shows that we recorded earlier, we talked about the customer experience being the top priority for a lot of organizations now. And they're not necessarily their product or their pricing, because they're realizing that the employer experience, the customer experience will impact or dictate if that person buys or stays or purchases their product, right? And for me, I really love how you said earlier how your master's in what was it? In
cognitive science.
The mind plays into what you do from a customer service payroll standpoint, right? Because you have that impact, and it provides, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like it provides fulfillment for you by making sure that these people are happy.
Yeah, no, it definitely provides fulfillment. And like the cognitive science aspect helps me from diverse set of levels, because yes, there's the human interaction and the employee satisfaction, but since we're bodies a software, I also think of it from user experience. Like, even listen, this button would be frustrating.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Like you use a very all-rounded thing, because the feedback is not just about the service, but even like small things. Like, you see how customers use the software and like they're happy with it, it works, it does the thing, but sometimes it can be better. And taking that feedback, people really appreciate. One of the things one of our clients remarked to our CEO, that when they suggest something, like once we develop it, we get back to them, for example. So it's not just that we implemented it, but they also feel heard and listened, that we actually care for what they say.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
That's amazing. See, for me, when I think about buddy, and you think about what buddy means, like, that's my buddy, that's my friend, that's somebody who cares for me.
Yep.
And so it makes it's perfect sense, man. This is amazing. So thank you for that.
Jeremy, what did you initially wanted to do with your degree and your career? Where do you think your career was going? before payroll. Gotcha.
Yeah. If I were to be honest, I wouldn't be completely sure because cognitive science is such an academic field.
Okay.
It's mostly kind of research based, and that
Okay.
has very limited career opportunities.
Okay.
But I was thinking something with data research. So customer experience wasn't off my mind. It was one of the things that
Oh
is
wow.
involved.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
I was thinking more customer experience, not from the customer support or customer success point of view, but more from software and like that kind of experience.
Gotcha.
wow. That's amazing. So you get to not only think of the academic, but you get to apply it immediately, right?
That's so
Like
awesome.
to your
Yeah.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and I love numbers, I love data. So even anything to
Ah,
do with customers, even just like numbers, how many customers, their
yep,
health, how
yep.
they're doing, and especially it comes in play when you're onboarding new clients and see how they're doing, they're
Mhm.
still using the software, all that, any kind of number makes me happy as well.
Nice.
That's amazing. I love that. So you are tracking the customer experience and you're looking at, do you use surveys at all?
Not at the moment. So unfortunately, we're a bit too small. So
Okay.
we do have little measures right now
Okay.
that we have lots of ideas that we try to implement.
Of
So
course.
obviously, right now, with as a startup, I do a lot of things. For example, I do sometimes the front-facing support. I have with the onboarding and data migration, reporting. So
Okay.
obviously, there's
Awesome.
not
Ah,
infinite time. I also
right.
give a lot of feedback to the team and I check with the QA as well before updates. So I say, listen, this is good, but it will be frustrating for our customers. So a big role. And there's definitely a lot more I would like to do with data, but we don't have as much surveys at the moment, but we do have some calls here and there with some of the bigger customers.
We're so blessed to have great guests on our show. Thank you for coming on because we keep learning. We keep learning from
Yeah.
y'all and it just helps us grow. And we hope we help you grow.
Yeah, for
Now,
sure.
before we let you go, we have a quick game that we play. And did you see the episode with your brother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so you know it's coming. You know it's coming. We call it this or
yeah.
that. I'm
Yes.
gonna ask you the first four. We'll ask you the last four. And all right, you ready?
Yes.
Direct deposit or live checks?
Direct deposit,
You know, coffee or tea?
water.
Water.
Water. Whoa.
Okay.
Wait a minute. So okay, so nothing.
No
Okay.
hot
Okay.
drinks, no cold drinks, room temperature only.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
Oh wait,
Okay.
no hot or cold drinks.
No,
Room temperature.
Room temperature water only. You don't drink any juice or anything like that.
not really, no.
Just water.
Wow.
It's
Yeah,
Okay.
healthy.
yeah.
Wow, I love
Nice.
it. That is an amazing discipline. All right. All in one software or a tech stack?
Tech stack.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Italy or England?
really.
Italy.
Italy? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my four. Excel or Google Sheets.
Google Sheets.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Here's a good one. Spain or Malta.
Spain.
Oh,
No
Wow.
really?
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
Malta, he's joking. He's joking, Malta people. He's joking.
He's no, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
No.
Um, okay, next one. Cash or crypto.
Crypto.
Oh,
Okay. And then the last one is email or phone.
Email.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
and it's and that's crazy because I don't know what made me add that to it. And sure enough, you guys went from phone to chat. Like, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that's
That's
amazing, man.
awesome. Wait, I want to start back to the Spain part. So how are you like
Yeah.
in Spain?
Uh, yeah. No, I'm very happy here. I feel pretty settled. It's been like 4 months now, but
Wow,
you
congratulations, by
might
the way.
have seen. Thank you. You might have seen some of my posts. I can be very critical of Malta. There's a lot of issues,
Okay.
and as someone as that doesn't drive, for me, somewhere that is walkable and much greener was
Oh,
necessary.
oh,
Got
that's
you.
awesome.
Man,
Okay.
Jeremy, man, you're so cool, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Heck yeah. So you don't drive, is that why is that?
No, I don't know. I never liked the idea of driving, and even like with my environmental values, it's
Yeah.
very pollutory. It doesn't. I know America's also very car centric.
Oh
Malta's
gosh.
heavily car centric.
Unless you're in a city,
Yes.
yeah, you have to have a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I found Europe, especially like Spain, is so different. Everyone walks.
Really?
There's
Oh
lots of
wow.
bike lanes. It's much better and healthier.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And so you're liking it 4 months in. You're not like homesick and you want to go home?
No, I haven't been homesick at all.
Wow. I heard Spain is beautiful too.
It
I
is.
can't wait to get to Europe. Have you been to Unleash yet in Paris, I think it is, the HR conference?
No, I haven't been.
So we're trying to go to that one year. Probably not this year, maybe the following year.
Mm.
When we go, we'll let you know so you guys can come too
Yeah.
and we can meet up. Even regardless, I want to try to meet up with all the
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Europe
yeah.
folks. That would be so cool. Man, thank you so much for being on the show, Jeremy. This is a great honor for us. I've been following you on LinkedIn. Folks, if you're interested in customer service, customer success, go follow Jeremy. Walt, anything before we let Jeremy go?
Yeah. So what advice would you give someone who's just getting into payroll or customer service? Like, what key point would you give someone who's thinking about it?
I think the key point is that what you do matter more than what you think of it at the surface level. So you have to think at what the deepest impact that it has. I think that can motivate you so much more because you don't focus on tasks, but focus on the impact.
Wow. Well said, sir. Thank you, Jeremy. See, man,
Perfect
Jeremy,
close.
is probably one of my favorite guests, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I got in the
I love
chills,
this
man.
man.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Yup.
Thank you so much for having me.
I won't tell your
Thank you.
brother that you were a better guest. I won't
Yeah.
tell him.
I will tell him myself.
You will tell. I love it. Man, we love you guys. Tell them we said hello. Thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait to meet you guys one day. Good luck with Buddy and keep growing, man. I love it, man. Thank you so much, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good one, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Before we sign off, here are a couple of quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok. Thank you for being a part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.